All right. Welcome to episode 115 of Digital Divination. And unlike our past 50 episodes, there's no Ron, so there's no disclaimer.
No need to be a disclaimer.
Yes. Yeah, Ron is away at GenCon having a grand old time, as he has told us here. And we are home doing other stuff. But we still
rubbing
got
it in our faces.
Well, he's not doing any of that stuff. I mean, and he's probably coming swag back for us. You never know.
Never know.
But we can still talk about things like the keynote and some of the stuff that was released for Starfinder Second Edition Playtest.
Yeah, it's exciting. Not all of it yet because there's still some more stuff that's going to be coming out. But a lot of it's out there. People are posting about it, making good memes about it, making good video content about it. Yeah, there's a copy of it there.
Yeah. I like hard copies. It's nice.
They're fun. Yeah. It's good that you hold on to that. As always, those things end up being collector's items.
I guess
after a while.
I have a special edition Pathfinder playtest still in the original plastic. So I hope it's a collector's item. But I think it's like only after I'm dead, right? Then it's worth something.
No. I don't know. But someone posted a picture. There's a copy of the original Pathfinder beta hard copy in the weird like Dungeons and Dragons museum or the role playing game museum that's over at GenCon. So it's pretty cool. Eventually, stuff like this, ends up in a museum after years and years, decades.
I just like to have it. So
yeah, sure, man, makes sense.
And it's it's like 0.99%, 0.99. It's 0.99 of 1.0 completion rate or something, right? It's like really close to being the final thing is what it seems like. So.
I mean, I imagine. I mean, I'm sure that there might be tweaks a little bit here and there about like certain abilities or prices or whatever. Who knows? But I mean, since it's based on, again, we have to talk about this. It's based on Pathfinder Second Edition, so the core fundamentalness, has been tried and tested already.
Yeah, and that's one of the interesting things I thought about it because when I'm looking at this book, it is not as big as like that's 260. 2 or 3 pages. The Pathfinder Second Edition core was a lot bigger, but this one says that it requires other books.
Yeah. When it comes out in its full hardcover 1.0 version, it'll have everything you need to play in it.
Okay, so you won't need the player core and the GM core.
Yeah. No, you won't need that. There'll be a Starfinder player core and a Starfinder GM core.
Right.
What you need. Yeah. So it'll be
right, and so, but the original core book will have enough of the rules that you can just do everything even without those to start, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, with the playtest, I mean, again, that's because it's built off.
Yeah. I get. Yeah.
This reaction economy, so you look at playing the game chapter of player core. And it tells you about like all the basic actions like striding and jumping and leaping and all that. And you don't need to reprint that information if it already exists because, it's a playtest, right?
Check.
It's less pages we have to charge you for.
True. But and the PDF is available free. It's really funny. Because I'm moving, my mail was in another place and I'm thinking, I don't have the hard copy to look at. So I go looking for my PDF of it because when I buy the hard copy, they give me a PDF. They didn't give me a PDF. You know why?
Because everyone gets the PDF.
Everybody gets a PDF. You just go to the Paizo website and you can download the PDF, boom, just like that. So
exactly.
So that's convenient. So that's as of a couple of days ago. That PDF is available for everyone.
For free.
Free for download.
StarfinderPlaytest.com. Go check it out. But we can talk about it. Should we talk about that? And then we'll talk about the stuff that they announced, the future stuff they announced at the keynote.
Or
do you want to do the keynote first?
Let's start with the keynote.
Okay, let's start with the keynote.
So go ahead.
There was a lot of talk about like, hey, this is out. Cosmic Birthday's out. Empire's Devoured will be out in October or something like that. And then the 2 playtest scenarios that you can play with the pre-gens are out. And yeah, those are I think the playtest scenarios aren't free, but neither is the adventures.
Right.
But and then the main books come out next GenCon. What do we do? What happens until then? They're going to release a whole new book. Just going to put a book in the middle there
in May. It's going to come out in May. Yeah.
Galaxy Guide is like a setting primer, but it's going to have rule stuff in it, like ancestries and I think they said archetypes.
Yeah, they said 6 ancestries in there, 6 additional ones. Yeah, so including a Dragonkin, the Astrozoan.
Yeah.
They showed some art for that, which I know you were impressed by.
Well, it's terrible and disgusting. I mean, not terrible in the best possible way. I mean,
because they show the transformation. It's like
they're showing the
transformation.
What Astrozoans look like when they're in between their starfish looking form and whatever it is they're changing into.
I think they could have just left that up to people's imaginations.
Look, we got Ken Hamilton, great concept artist. Sometimes we just need him to be disgusting and draw the gross things that we all want to see.
And what was the last one? I forget now.
Kahlo.
Oh, the Kahlo. Yeah, the underwater kind of.
There's going to be 3 more. They said they might talk about them at the panel that they were doing, but I didn't get a chance to watch the panel, the Starfinder roadmap, and that panel's not up on YouTube yet, so I don't know what the other 3 are. I think, for me, fingers crossed, Bantrid gets in there. That's all.
Okay. All right.
That's what I want to see, Bantrid, because
you like the little rolling.
Well, I wrote them originally for Pack Worlds.
I didn't know that. You wrote the rolling nose. Did you concept how it looked as well?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I wanted to do it. It's a mouse ball with a cone shape, and then like these. What was it? They're like sea slug.
Yeah,
I think like fronds that act as their appendages.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you. I don't know if I've told the story before, but the fun story is that I was asked to write a weird ancestry for Pack Worlds because they were going to have. Whatever they did ended up having in that one, some of that I can't remember, but I pitched just a wheel, just a full like a wagon wheel looking ancestry, and that's too weird. Just cut it back. Okay, I'll just cut it back. And then when we start, other things come in, and I'm I think maybe in like the copy fit stage or something like that, I see that we also have the Astrozoan in there. I'm like, well, that is a starfish with eyeballs on its knees. That's pretty weird too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what did we play? Shoot, it's been so long. The high level, what's the super high level Starfinder adventure?
The super high level, Devastation Arc.
Yeah, Devastation Arc. Yeah, we played that. Ran into lots of Bantrids. Got to learn too much information about Bantrids and undead Bantrids and all kinds of weird things about Bantrids.
Yeah, that was the fun part about that, because at the time when we were plotting that out, it was just me and Rob McCreary, and we were like, we both like Bantrids, and we're like, maybe we can do something about Bantrids in here, because we left their background kind of a mystery, and then so we filled it in. That's why there's weird undead Bantrids.
Yeah. All right, so you're hoping Bantrids. Hopefully somebody. Yeah, so 3 of them. I'm trying to think. What is my favorite? I like Dragon King quite a bit. That's awesome.
Yeah, Dragon Kings are fun.
Oh, I like Uplifted Bears too, though.
I wonder if they're going to bring those over, because now with Call of the Wild, it's going to be essentially an awakened anything. Yeah. So I don't know if we're going to be count those as Uplifted Bears or whatever. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the different ones, different ancestries that I really like. The Morlamores. That's gonna be.
The Morlamores. Those are gonna show up. If not in Galaxy Guide, they'll show up eventually.
Yeah, that's gotta
everyone
be
loves
one.
them all. Yeah,
that's good. All right, so we're just speculating on that. So they announced that the Galaxy Guide. There's also after the what is it? After the whatever Devoured. That's the second one. They announced a third one too.
Empire's Devoured.
Empire's Devoured, and
there's not going to be a third one. Not a playtest one. There's two scenarios. You're thinking about the 2 scenarios.
Maybe
Shards of the Glass Planet, and It Came from the Vast.
No, I was thinking a third thing. I just saw something for that. Yeah, because I have it came from the Vast. I was supposed to run that at GenCon.
Oh, that's right.
Oh no, okay, I see what it is. They're showing the Flip Mac Playtest Flip multi-pack. That's what it is.
Yeah, for the 2 adventures.
Yeah. So I just saw the 2 adventures, and then that must be for both adventures. Very cool. All right. So they talked about the Galaxy Guide and the GM Core is going to launch at Gen Con next year.
Yeah, they're going to have all, Player Core, GM Core, and Alien Core.
All 3.
Whether or not all 3 of them are going to be, I'm not 100% certain, but Alien Core might follow. It's going to follow very soon after. It'll be in the same year for sure.
Right.
Before the end of the year. But it's all sort of like trying to get it all out at once.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Anything else about the keynote Starfinder wise that you're?
They did talk they talk about other like what adventures are. Well, they didn't actually talk about they Thirsty mentioned that like adventures they're still thinking about adventures, what adventures are going to be for Starfinder 2nd Edition and how they're going to come out, but no real news there. Right. The news comes more about after the 2nd Edition playtest is over, sometime probably in spring, they're going to have the, or maybe even earlier, have the playtest for the Mechanic and Technomancer classes.
Right.
Which will be in a future book, most likely, because it's not going to be in the core player.
Right. They said that as well. Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. Speaking of the classes that come with the playtest, so it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classes.
6.
6?
6.
6?
Mm-hmm.
I have 1, 2,
Envoy,
3,
Mystic,
4, 5.
Operative, Solarian, Soldier, Witch Warper. 6.
All right. I just can't count. You're right. You're right. Yeah. So it comes with those 6, which is interesting. I think Witch Warper is kind of the interesting add to that because it wasn't part of the original core.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they wanted more spell casting and they weren't ready to have the Technomancer in there. So they needed another spellcasting class, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if you look at Witch Warper, it actually encompasses precog. It kind of folds precog into it as one of the like anchors, I think. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's interesting. So we might see that happen with like somewhere along the line. Maybe, I mean, whether or not like say Vanguard is going to end up being its own class or like an archetype or something like that. Like, you know, things like that can change because, mm-hmm. Pathfinder 2nd Edition has done that as well. Some of the things that have been talked about, also this Gen Con, basically say, oh, hey, look, the Inquisitor is coming back, sort of, but not really. Mm-hmm. It's got a whole new name, and it's basically just a Ranger class archetype instead of its own class.
Right. Yeah, I think Vanguard would, the way they're reconfiguring the Soldier, I think Vanguard would play really well in that. Though it's a little, it's got some cool mystical powers type of thing. So maybe Solarian might be a different thing. You know, kind of how you get to manifest something and do something special with it. Yeah, could be. I mean, they could take some of the Vanguard stuff and kind of drive it. You know, the way the Solarian drives their abilities. And,
right. A new revelation. Arrangements, they're called.
Yes.
Is the new Solarian subclass.
Yeah. That's kind of a weird name. And Ancestries, they have some interesting ones. No Bantrids.
Well, no, of course. I wouldn't be wishing for Bantrids to come out in the Galaxy Guide if they were already here.
But, you know, from the Starfinder core, they have the Android, Human, Kasatha, Lashunta, Shirin, Ves, Yosoki.
Yeah.
And then they have fan favorite Skittermander.
Yeah.
Sort of fan favorite Patra. I have some friends that really like the Patra quite a bit. The Barathu, which I always thought was really...
That's a weird one.
A big gas bag. Did you make that one too?
No. Okay. Those already existed. Those existed... in Pathfinder First Edition, basically.
Oh, I did not know a big gas bag like that existed. That's
I mean, not as a playable anything, right? It was just a creature we talk about a creature that exists on Breathida.
Right. And then the Borai, which is a weird, not undead,
Versatile
undead soul
heritage.
in the living
Yeah.
body. And then this last one, this is the one that I think is very interesting, is the Prismeni,
like prism.
Prismeni.
A little any on the end.
Yeah, that I think that's really interesting. So a drift connected being.
That was a very much a later addition to Pathfinder First Edition, one of the latest editions, because it comes out through the Drift Crisis stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the Drift Crisis stuff talks about drift, and Prismeni is essentially, since the drift is its own plane.
Mm-hmm.
In First Edition, Prismeni is a planar scion.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So you're touched by the drift,
Mm-hmm.
basically that kind of stuff. Now it's Versatile Heritage, like all the sort of planar scion stuff is
Right.
in Pathfinder Second Edition. It's great. Borai is a great choice for another new, very Starfinder Versatile Heritage, in a way that like it existed in First Edition in the like before Versatile Heritages were a thing, right? In a way that pre-Sages kind of Versatile Heritages, because you do pick like what you're dead. What were you before? A dwarf, and an elf, or Vesk, human, Lashunta. You get to pick those from pick something, and that's pretty cool. To sort of it slots into the Versatile Heritage architecture so easily that it's almost like it was meant to be.
Yeah, so somebody was thinking about that when they put it together, probably.
Maybe, I don't know. It was a weird one, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of neat. I mean, kind of to see the different heritage and the different feats you get related to those. So very much customizing your character based a lot more on heritage than, I mean, similar to, obviously, Pathfinder Second Edition, but way different than in Starfinder, how you would do things. Mm-hmm. So there's, no themes anymore. So it's all kind of built around this. So, yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
Can I tell you, speaking of that, like I was looking at, since Brathu was a kind of an unusual choice to add in there, it's something very much not a humanoid. I mean, I think it's cool because it's very much not a humanoid.
Yeah.
And, hey, showcasing that Starfinder, you can be all sorts of weird guys. A 17th level ancestry feat for Brathu is basically you glom onto someone. You just sort of like engulf them, an ally, and just sort of like now you ride along with them and act as like cover for them, basically. And you can still do your stuff. Maybe you're gonna, basically your tentacles out there shooting your guns and stuff, but they just sort of like, you don't have to, you basically ride someone else like a horse.
Well, you temporarily merge with them.
It just feels like it's a big. You're a big gas bag, like you said. Like how
can't they ride you if you're a big gas bag?
But it doesn't. You don't give them fly speed.
If the target is medium or smaller, their size increases to large, and their reach increases to 10. Sounds like they get a lot of benefits.
They do. They get benefits. I'm not saying it's not. It's only for the benefits. I guess if you can fly as a Barathu, you can grant them flight. So you can basically, you carry them along, or I just think, just my picture, I'm just picturing it just be like the blob. You just kind of like go, hey friend, bloop.
Yes, but you don't liquefy them though.
No, you don't liquefy them. What that means is you don't have to spend any of your actions moving.
Right.
They move and you go with them.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's interesting. I was maybe I'm missing this. It looked like, so if for the Barathu, for example, we're looking at that. So you get a Constitution, a Wisdom, and a free attribute boost.
Yeah. With
a attribute flaw of Dexterity. Isn't that one more boost than we got in Starfinder?
Maybe. Yeah, it was always.
You always got 2 with one flaw.
About +2.
Yeah.
But this is the same as Pathfinder, though.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it fleshes out to that.
Yeah, how you're building is, and then based on what class you get, then you get an attribute boost as well.
Yep.
So
And you get
same thing
you
with
get
Pathfinder.
2 from your background.
Yeah. So, from your background, not your class. I thought you got one from your class.
You do. You get 1 from
Okay.
your class and
Yeah.
2 from your background,
Yeah.
and 2 or 3, or maybe it's generally 2 to 3.
Right, depending on, because some
If you
only
have
get
3, you get no
2 with no
Right.
flaw. I think that's
Yeah.
the Lashunta and the human.
Yeah.
And then everybody else gets 3, but they get a flaw. Yeah. Well, it's just kind of, again, using the Pathfinder second edition character generation system. You're really customizing your character way more, even in the creation process, than you were doing under standard Starfinder, the first edition.
Yeah.
So I just think that it's kind of cool.
I am just noticing this as well about the Barathu, is they get to fly right away. It's something that is a little different than in Pathfinder, because I think I heard them talking about that, saying that Starfinder has a lot more focus on range weapons, so being able to fly is not going to be as much of a game breaker. And it was something in Starfinder First Edition too. You would get flight with like jetpacks and stuff, and playable species right off the bat in some cases. So this is again sort of another way to show off how Starfinder has its own little differences. Why not have a flight speed of 20 feet? You're a gas bag.
Yes.
It is interesting though that they have a regular speed of 25 feet, which is pretty normal. I guess they're on land speed, right? I guess
they can walk in their tentacles.
Pretty fast, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so interesting stuff. I really like the Patra species, but when I look at the Patra artwork here, it is, I don't know how to characterize that. It's like Puss in Boots, you know. It's not the same kind of look. Like it's not like a tiger or a lion, you know, that's now been made into a humanoid form.
I bet we're gonna see like different, like some variations on that. And as you look, I mean, because if you, I want to say, is there any more other Patras in here? And there's obviously the new Solarian Iconic is a Patra, and they
right. That one looks different, for sure.
A little different. Oh, here, if you go page 80, there's a what is this? A Mystic Patra. It looks like.
Yeah, see, that's a little more what they look like before, and then like, I mean, there's other game systems that have like a creature that's similar to a Patra, and they actually look more like that when they talk about the Patra species. You know, they're more comic booky than the Patra has been in Starfinder. So it's, I just thought it was kind of interesting.
It's going to be, different arts.
Yeah, different artists and interpretations and
differently,
and how they do stuff. So very interesting. I was looking at Operative was the first class I played in Starfinder back in the day, going through Dead Suns with Ron and Scott and Mark, Mark as well, a couple other folks. And it's interesting, the kind of the different, so operatives have specializations. Now the different archetypes, whatever you call them, what do you call those?
The subclasses?
Subclasses. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting seeing, well, they still have specializations here as well.
Yeah, it's that's what it's called. It's still called that.
Yeah.
But it's just the same. It's just a subclass that lets you do different, slightly, gives you a unique action, it looks like.
Right. Yeah, it's a bit more, it seems more developed, I guess, than when the Starfinder first came out, so looking at the operative specializations versus now these subclasses, which are still specializations, but there's, I don't know, just seems a little bit, more refined, I guess. That's,
I mean, it's, how to move it over to second edition, 2E architecture, right? You have these subclasses that do a little something special,
Right.
You know, you can look at any number of the Pathfinder 2e classes and see subclasses that. I mean, a lot of them work. You know, don't all work the same, right? You know, obviously, but like something like investigator subclasses. This almost seems like what it's like. You get a little maybe a specialty action that no one else gets.
Oh, you know what I didn't look at here? Maybe you know this. Under spells, do we get scaling cantrips?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Why wouldn't we?
I don't know. I was hoping so because those are awesome.
Yeah, they're great. You can. I bet some of them. I think I did notice it's like say like in like Mystic and Witch Warper when they say like, oh, you'll get this subclass gives you these extra spells. Some of them are from player core. So
interesting.
They're cantrips, they got to be scaled. So they kind of mix and match here. But let's find one that is a scaling cantrip that looks like it might be good. Eldritch Lance. That's new.
That sounds cool. Sounds like Eldritch Blast, but it's you poke it.
Okay. Mental damage. It's a range attack against AC. It's a cantrip, right? 2 actions. If you hit, you deal 2d6 mental damage, and then every level it goes up by 1d6.
Yeah.
So pretty standard scaling cantrip.
Yeah, no, that's makes them so much more useful. Like that's great.
Well, yeah, it was the goal of the second edition would be like, oh, you want to make sure that like, because a fighter can always swing their sword. They never run out of sword swings in a day, right? So why not give the spellcasters this thing that they can do that they could never run out of as a sort of a backup option? Not even a backup, but just sort of like, hey, it could be you're just sort of, you can't think of anything else to do, cast one of your cantrips that does damage. So it should, like a fighter's sword swing when they get their runes and their other things, special weapon specialization and stuff like that, go up, do more damage, right? So
awesome.
Do the right amount of damage, I should say, not more damage. The correct amount of damage for whatever you're trying to fight at that level, right?
The balanced amount of damage for the creatures
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, they carry over a lot of the weapons from Starfinder First Edition, and the art's similar.
Some of this art's still from First Edition and other things that I recognize a lot of them, but that's fine. I'm sure that this is obviously not the final. Whether or not
have they changed grenades though? I always thought grenades were not very useful.
They appear to be more like alchemist bombs, just from a glance.
Yeah, so they give some damage and some critical effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're cheaper though.
Yeah, I'm sure. I bet they're cheaper.
Yeah, well, like a 0 level incinerate grenade is 10 credits. That's really cheap.
Yeah. Okay. It's a 2 action. Okay. This is interesting. You have to takes you 2 actions to throw a grenade. It looks like.
Oh, really?
Because the area fire action is a thing. And then it is your class DC plus if there's a tracking value on the weapon. That's interesting. You don't roll attack roll; you just chuck it. So it's like they're like little mini spells, right? So that's why they take 2 actions.
Yeah. All right.
I wonder, though. I wonder if that. It doesn't look like it, but it does look like you'll still have to take a grenade out in your hand as an action.
So that would be 3. So here I'm seeing like incinerate grenade. It says activate area fire, and it's just showing 1 action.
Oh, does it now? Well, I wonder which is right.
Where are you seeing 2 actions?
I went back and looked at what the description of what the area of fire action is. And
Oh,
it's 2 actions.
huh.
Wait, I've lost where grenades are. There they are. You're right. It is 1 action.
Except for
Well,
the
no, hold
grenade
on.
launcher, it's 2
The
actions.
grenade launcher, but that's because it's already in your grenade. It's already in the weapon, right?
So why would it be
The
2
whole-
actions?
To shoot, just because it's an area effect, like for balance purposes, I think.
Okay, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
You know. So it's 2 actions to, I guess, to draw and throw a grenade.
right.
If you have it already in the grenade launcher.
Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, so if you still, so drawing a weapon is 1 action, activating it, tossing it, I guess. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's good. Yeah. That's like an alchemist bomb. You got to draw it and throw it. And so I imagine somewhere in these feats is a draw and throw a grenade is 1 action.
Right.
Situation. Maybe under soldier, maybe under operative. I know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, and I heard, and I see it here. So, like for armor upgrades, it is an upgrade to have environmental protection. So not all armor automatically comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 0 level upgrade. Costs 10 credits. Seems like everybody would have that.
Yeah, you probably want to have that.
10 credits to protect you against vacuum of space. Light bulk, interesting. What I was wondering, though, maybe this would be under equipment. So, one of the things I didn't like about Starfinder is you couldn't upgrade your weapons and armor. You always had to sell and buy. And
Right. No, I mean this stuff has, I don't know, I forget what they called it, but yeah, you can upgrade your weapons.
I mean, there's weapon up. So instead of fusions, they have weapon upgrades that you can add. But is there like a +1 striking upgrade or anything like that?
Well, there has to be. Let's find it. There. No, those are Solarian crystals. I went too far. Maybe it's under just weapons. I think what happens is there is, if you go to the weapons themselves, which are somewhere in here. Where are they? Where are all the weapons? Shields. Okay, they must come right here. All right. Descriptions.
170 is supposed to be weapons. It describes them. Multi-attack penalties, -5, -10. I like that a lot. Damage rolls, critical hits. Natural 20 is 1 or exceeded by 10. I like that.
Classic.
Improvised weapons, weapon stats, range, reload, bulk.
Here we go. Okay, go. Page 182. At the bottom of the table, there's weapon improvements.
Improvements.
Yes. So what this does, it adds the tracking trait, and it says, and also adds a damage die at a certain point. So like commercial is what you get when you buy a weapon.
Right.
You get a commercial laser pistol, and then you can upgrade that to a tactical laser pistol to give it a +1 to hit. Tracking +1 is essentially like an item bonus. It looks like.
Right.
And then you get an advanced. You upgrade it to an advanced laser pistol, and then you deal 2 dice of damage, and it lets you add an additional upgrade to the weapon.
Right, and that assumes you were at the previous level, so you've already spent from 2 to 3. You've already spent 350. You get 650 more.
Right. So, but it does list the total value after that. If you're just buying, if you want to buy it straight out, because
I see.
Or making a 5th level character or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah. I see. And the math adds up. I like that a lot better rather than having to sell your trusty laser pistol. Now you can improve it and keep it. Chewie can keep that crossbow blaster forever rather than having to trade it in every other level.
I mean, it was always like, getting different weapons because that's what you found. And this one does more damage now, but it's an ice gun. And
right.
Always tricky. But now you can just sort of keep up.
But it's still nice to have variety of weapons, but now
sure.
you don't have to keep, trading up. And does it say anything about selling stuff? I'm wondering if that is 10% or 50% or how that's
It's whatever
balanced.
it is in Pathfinder,
Okay.
which I think is 50%.
I thought it was 50 in Pathfinder.
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure it is. Upgrading equipment, improving equipment. Not seeing it right now. Credits.
Now, did they have the same thing for armor upgrading? That's the other armor improvements. So they have that.
Yes.
Page is that
Sure
on?
do. 166. Gives you extra little item bonus,
Yes.
little extra bonus to the AC, and you get the resilient trait.
Nice.
Kind of faster, I think, than you do.
You have a lot more elemental damage and crazy stuff in Starfinder. So
Well, yeah, this just for all your saving throws is what resilient usually is.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Those are two of the things that nobody had really talked about, but I was really hoping we're going to make it in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of, I wouldn't know how you would do it. If you have the same exact basic math as Pathfinder Second Edition, and your weapons don't get better, your armor doesn't get, you don't have the ability to make them better.
Right.
You can't win. You know.
Very good. Well, this is exciting. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we gonna? Is our Intrepid Heroes gonna start with this book?
Yeah, we're gonna start with Cosmic Birthday.
Nice.
I am real curious as to what y'all want to play. Do you think you're gonna start off with an operative again, John?
No, because everyone wants to start off with an operative. I'll just take whatever's left.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's six of us players and 6 classes.
Yep.
I think we're gonna have a session 0 here in just a little over a week.
A little over. Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting, and we'll pick and choose. Yeah, I think Witch Warper would be kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Ron played a precog in our Horizons of the Vast campaign.
I remember.
And yeah, I thought it was really cool, really versatile. So it'd be interesting to see kind of the Witch Warper precog kind of combo there.
Yeah, they've got basically some fun like warp. Witch Warpers look like they get something called warp spells, which are their focus spells, right?
Right.
They have some fun looking time based focus spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, but we'll see. We have an interesting crew, which those games aren't going to be out for a while though. So because so tomorrow, which is when this gets posted, will be 3 days earlier.
Before. Okay, sure.
Is episode, I think 8 might have gone up. Maybe it's 9. I think it's 8. And I think we finished with 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So that's.
Feel free to, I mean, you've got to edit them, but, put them out quicker. I don't know.
Well, no, so I used to do those weekly. And the No Direction Network wanted every other week.
Okay, fair.
And so that's what we did. They're our network, and that's how they do stuff every other week. That's fine.
What if we alternated? Once we got a couple sessions of Cosmic Birthday under our belts, what if you alternated between?
That would really confuse listeners. What I might do is see if I can relabel that one as just, we're calling it Intrepid Scoundrels, right, and leave that running and start up Intrepid Heroes again.
There you go.
So, but that'll be, I have a month to think about that. So I can work on after GenCon. Ryan might be a little bit more amenable. He's done a whole bunch of stuff for Renegade Studios, and I'm I'm sure he's probably in a really good mood lately. So I'll get him while he's in a good mood.
Hopefully. Yeah. Oh, well, we won an Annie.
I know.
We won a judge's spotlight Annie.
Yeah.
So
you guys did good. I am now a gold medal Annie winner.
Oh, that's right.
As well.
You were in that, weren't you?
Yeah, it's me and 39 other people.
Hey, look.
For the Tianche World Guide. Yeah.
It all counts. Yeah,
it is.
Congrats.
And I had some really big parts in that, or a really big part.
Fair enough.
Which, but I was excited. That's pretty cool. There's a Discord we have where we talk about stuff, contributors and things like that.
Yeah.
And apparently you can order a medal. You can order, if you were there, you could buy the medal. Right. But apparently you can order it as well. So I need to figure out that they were hoping that Paizo was going to buy them, but I can't see Paizo spending that kind of money to.
It's a lot of, I don't know how much they cost, but also
they're $25 each. So it'd be $1,000. So we'll see. You never know.
Sending them out. Yeah, you never know.
Probably not though. But yeah, now I have to amend my resume to include that. So.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, Jason, it's been fun chatting with you, and no Ron today, but we managed to pull it off even without that guy.
We did it before, and we'll do it again.
Yes.
You hear me, Ron? I know you're listening to this.
Well,
you're on thin ice, mister.
He'll hear you Thursday.
Yeah. Eventually he'll hear me. I know he's listening.
Well, I'm John.
And I'm Jason, and this has been Digital Divination.